Ah, there we go. Stream starting soon. Zero viewers.
Ah, there we go.
Ah, shit. Talking mushrooms.
Starting soon.
There we go. Yarp. Exactly. Hey, what's up, everyone? No. Yep. Ooh. Hey,
Let's start over.
cool. Why
So
can no one hear us?
I had muted the microphone. Well, maybe they could. Maybe they could have because I could hear you before. So whatever.
Well, here, hold on. I got an idea.
Hey,
Nope.
let's start over. Cool.
You caught it just too late.
Yep.
No big deal. All right. So our favorite shows came back to television this past week to finish off the Crisis on Infinite Earths miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Crossover event extravaganza. What was that?
Arizona iced tea. As you
I-
had put up your Dr. Pepper.
Did I? Oh, I drank from it. I didn't show it off.
Oh, well.
Um,
And,
Okay. So we got parts 4 and 5, which were episodes of Arrow and a special episode of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Which debuts this Tuesday.
next, well, when we're recording this, it comes out next week, Tuesday. So
This
the
could-
21st.
This coming Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. Thankfully, in that Legends episode, there was not a lot of Nate, so thank the Lord.
You and Nate need to have a sit down and talk to each other.
He's awful. He's the worst.
He's great. He's great.
No, he's not. He's not great. Ray is great.
He's Nate the Great.
False. Okay.
Right.
The Arrow episode. Let's talk about that. That kind of warning, of course, spoilers ahead if you have not watched these last two episodes.
Stop what you're doing and watch it because it was fantastic.
Right. The person in the chat, I will not talk gooder. My speaking English is just good.
Wow.
It's a person I know. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
They are busting chops, as it were. Okay, so Arrow finished off the big bad, I guess you'd call it, storyline from the first three. Because once that episode ended, I kind of had no idea what was next. Because, I mean, in the comic books, that kind of happened too. They finished off the Anti-Monitor, and then there was a whole underlying thread of Lex Luthor and Brainiac.
Yeah.
Post, what's his name?
Post Anti-Monitor?
Yeah, that. I'm frozen right now, so thinking clearly is not going to happen for me.
Oh, like physically frozen. Okay.
Yeah, I just got back from the grocery store and stuff, so I'm cold.
Oh.
Yeah, so why don't you talk a bit about what happened in the Arrow episode? We're 10,000 years in the past.
Yeah, so we start off on the planet Maltus, and we get a backstory of how I'm just gonna how the Monitor started this quote unquote war with the Anti-Monitor, He did some temporal. He did a temporal jump to the beginning of time, and he then created the Anti-Monitor, which that part to me is still a little bit confusing.
They didn't really explain it, but yeah, it was an accident, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna just assume something particle wise got into the time stream, and then when he landed, it just awoken this anti version of the monitor.
Well,
Headcanon.
The description I'm reading is he accidentally ended up in the antimatter universe and revealed the existence of the multiverse to the Anti-Monitor.
Oh, well, that's better than my explanation.
And I guess it has been months now since the multiverse was destroyed.
Yeah, and Ryan Chow is the only one that has a beard besides Lex Luthor.
Well,
which it was a terrible, terrible looking beard.
Which one?
Ryan Chow's.
Oh. It looked normal. It looked normal to me. It kind of is the way his character looked on Supernatural sometimes.
Oh, I mean, I'm nitpicking. It looked like it was makeup on, not makeup on, but like
fake,
spirit glued on.
Spirit glued. Okay,
that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
As a person who has never had to do that before, I know what it is.
So the Paragons are struggling, and meanwhile, Jim Corrigan is teaching Oliver how to use the Spectre's power. Spectre costume, lame.
Yes, it was just a cloak, basically. Not even a cloak. It was
it's like a hoodie,
like a bathrobe,
like a rain jacket he found on Lian Yu. It was terrible. They could have tried a little more.
It was all in the makeup. It looked he had the whiter, pale face.
I wasn't even paying attention to it. So.
Oh, I mean, I'm glad that they kept his Arrow costume on. Because that's, I think a little bit of a callback to Hal Jordan's Spectre. A little bit, if I remember correctly.
Sure, Oliver should go out stealing other people's things as he went in. Batman storylines. So basically, Oliver's on his way to the Vanishing Point to rescue the Paragons and strengthen Barry's powers so that... Yes.
Just poof.
Yeah, just touched him on the forehead and went boop. like God in Dogma.
Oh yeah. I wonder if that was any just a callback or a nod to him.
I mean, Kevin Smith works on all these shows, so who knows?
Yeah.
With his increased speed powers, Barry is able to drop off Kara, Mr. Ryan Chow, and Lex on Maltus, and then gets attacked by the Anti-Monitor, losing everyone else across the timeline. I got a bit confused. So he's not... The multiverse is destroyed here, but he's traveling through time.
Correct.
When the multiverse still existed.
That is what I'm going to headcanon.
Okay, because this part gets pretty confusing because then we get our final real legitimate Easter egg cameo, which blew me away. I was not expecting any more of these. Not to mention this one in particular. Why is there a lightsaber standing in your behind your couch?
Because I have nowhere to put it and display it. Unlike you,
that's a green one.
It is. It's the same one you have.
Nice. Sorry. So Barry ends up in a Star Labs, but it does not look like a familiar Star Labs, but it is kind of familiar. It looks a little fancier than the one we're used to.
It is, but but in the background you could see the season 1 costume with the red logo on there.
Right.
Because Barry has been tasked by Spectre Oliver to find Jean, Kate, and Sarah, because they're somewhere in the Speed Force, and Oliver tells him to use memories to find them.
We'll call him Spectiver.
Sure.
Why not? Yes, but then he first takes a trip to the Snyderverse. Hashtag don't ever release the Snyder Cut.
Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Because there's no such thing.
He says it is, but anywho.
Why wouldn't he say that? Because he gets money if they let him do something with it.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. It does not exist. And let's just shut up about the Abrams cut. There's no such thing. I can't believe that was a thing for a day. Anyway, of Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, so anyway, he runs into Ezra Miller, a.k.a. the Barry Allen of the DC Extended Universe, from Justice League and Batman v Superman cameo, that kind of thing. And a pretty cool cameo, I thought. A pretty cool moment, too, when they start...
Yeah, Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, when they start discussing costumes and which one they each like each other's better. Mm-hmm. And that was when I finally realized, I think most of the world also realized, Ezra Miller's Flash was not called the Flash. He didn't have a nickname yet.
Yeah, for a couple of days now, I've been trying to, even though I could go back and watch it, but I was just thinking, like, was he ever known as the Flash beforehand? And
nobody knew about him until Bruce found him.
Well, until Lex found him.
Well, right, he was just Barry Allen.
Yeah. So, yeah, he just says you're fast. Yeah, so indeed, this is how he gets his name.
It'll be interesting to see if we get a mention of that in the Flash movie in 2022.
Yeah, whenever that happens. Okay.
2022.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Flashpoint, baby.
Yeah. But
are you one of those people that hates Ezra Miller's Flash?
I am one of those people that just didn't like how he ran.
Oh, that's not his fault.
And one of our co-hosts, Johnny, says he looks like a frog.
I don't
when
see
he
that.
runs. It's just how he goes like this. It's a speed skating thing. It just looks weird when you're not speed skating.
Sure, it doesn't look like a frog to me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people saying that it was like all green screen, that they weren't actually there with each other.
False.
Which is false, because there are Instagram photos of both Grant and Ezra together. And some funny pictures, but I could see why they would say it looked CG'd and green screened.
Sure,
but I'm sure that's
it had to because of the effects that they were doing. He was there, but not really there, so they had to make it look like that. But yeah, I'm trying.
Nope, good.
Hang on one second. Let's do.
You're trying to bring it up.
His running. So
but yeah, no,
I have to cover up your face to do it. So
okay. I liked their interaction. It was brief, and when you texted me about like something that you never thought that would happen, I was thinking like maybe it's the Justice League from the CBS pilot.
I would have probably just told you that happened.
I hope you wouldn't have, because I would have just been like, oh my god, they did that.
So it doesn't look like he's a frog to me, but yes, the speed skating thing is very apropos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting it play a couple times on a loop. So, thanks whoever did that on YouTube. You're cool in my book. All right.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah, totally. All right. Back. So it was cool. Also, you got a Victor mention. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Victor, I told Victor this was possible, he says. But what's interesting about this whole thing is, and I guess the only way it's possible is if that Barry Allen is also traveling through time, because the multiverse is gone at this point. So the only way they could visit each other is if they're both in the Speed Force at the same time.
Yes.
Because, again, the multiverse is gone.
Correct.
Even if he's in the past, he can't go to another Earth, could he? He'd only be able to travel in his Earth's timeline, I'd imagine.
I would imagine too, but I mean, Ezra Miller's version of Barry Allen / The Flash is still relatively new.
No, I know. I'm just saying the only way they could run into each other is if they're both in the Speed Force at that time in the past.
I mean, time is all relative, so I guess no matter... Yes.
You can't change the future,
No.
Bruce
No,
Banner.
you can change the future. There have been many.
Yeah, so
There have been many movies and TV shows. Flashpoint.
After getting over the initial excitement of seeing it, I had to sit and think about it for a second. Like, what did I just see? what is happening? But it was cool. Either way, it was cool.
Yeah. It was one of the WB execs that was like, so do you think you guys could put this in? And I think Mark Guggenheim was like, yeah.
Well,
because they were already done filming,
right?
And then they were like, yeah, we can add this in.
I believe, if I remember right, Jim Lee is the one that made it happen.
Oh, okay.
Let me find the article, because of course, yeah, everyone says you got to thank Jim Lee for that to happen.
Oh, okay.
So I think Guggenheim reached out to Jim Lee, said, "Do you think this could happen?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And credit, whether you like Ezra or not, he clearly loves the character.
Oh yeah.
To do this 30-second cameo, like whatever he's doing, Fantastic Beasts or whatever the heck he's working on. So, Guggenheim. Here's a quote from Guggenheim on Entertainment Weekly. Basically, I was working really hard, working hand in hand with Jim Lee. From the moment we found out that this was a possibility to once we knew Grant Gustin was cool and on board with it, and Ezra was on board with it, I would send drafts of the scene to both Jim Lee and DC Entertainment's film VP Adam Schlagman, and we would go back and forth. The trick with the scene is that I didn't want to, and they didn't want me to do anything that stepped on the toes of the Flashpoint movie that they're developing. So we really worked hand in hand. Jim was really great about just making sure that all the parties were talking to each other, that nothing was getting stalled. He was a cheerleader when we needed it to be, a diplomat when he needed to be. He really stepped up in every way we could, in every way one could do it. His enthusiasm really helped make this possible. So Jim Lee also posted footage on his Instagram noting the multiverse lives. Yeah, that's how I found out that Jim Lee did it, because he posted. I follow him. He's like my favorite artist, so I follow him on Instagram. But another quick cameo, jumping through around a little bit, was Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
He got an autograph from Barry and Kara.
Did you make that out to Marv? M-A-R-V?
Yeah, right. Yeah. That was great. I thought that was a fun little moment, because he helped direct one of the episodes, I believe.
He helped write the Arrow episode with Mark Guggenheim.
But he was in the Legends of Tomorrow episode.
Yes.
So they just were filming. He's still around. Hey, why don't you jump in this scene real fast? Okay, so let's jump kind of ahead here. The flashbacks and stuff were kind of cool. Seeing Kate have to kind of realize how she's been behaving very much like Arrow season 1 through 3 was, very not trusting, not able to work with others. And then you go to Sarah's flashback. One, that's the Sarah I fell in love with. The Katie I fell in love with too. I love the costume. I forgot how bloody her chest got when she died. I forgot. Yeah. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of blood. A very sad moment with Diggle and
with Laurel.
With Laurel, yep.
Which Guggenheim was asked, which are we going to see Katie, Laurel in the crossover? And he's like, yeah, we'll see Earth 1, Laurel.
What a jerk. So what was the other one? I did Kate. Kate went back to when Ray and Oliver were arguing with each other.
Yeah, season 3
about protecting Star City, or was it Starling City at that time?
It was Starling City.
And then we just talked about who was the other one that went back in time? Who am I forgetting?
Jean. Really? Jean went to the Invasion crossover.
Oh, that's right.
Because
you don't trust each other now.
Carl was in her old costume, but with her bangs. So it looked weird.
I realized that my most recent attraction to women in bangs is because of Kara.
Okay.
That's the root of it. Because she looks great.
Yeah.
Also, seeing Melissa Benoist, if that's not how you pronounce her name, I'm sorry, but I like pronouncing it that way. In Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
I I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seeing her and the way she talks is so weird. It's so not Kara or Supergirl. It's very odd.
So wait, side quest. How did you see it?
It's digital. It's available digital right now.
Of course it is. Okay.
I think it comes out in February on Blu-ray.
It comes out January. I think it comes out on Tuesday.
There you go. Yeah, it's been on digital for like 2 weeks now.
Oh, well, son of a bitch.
And then, what's his name? Brainy is in it, and so is her husband, her real life husband.
Chris.
Yeah,
Chris Wood.
They play fans in the crowd, I think.
Of course they did.
And they speak really, really weird. I can't remember what accent they have. It's pretty funny.
All right, I've been looking forward
It wasn't
to watch
terrible.
it for a while.
My mini review, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. But I'm excited now that he's kind of putting all his efforts into Mallrats 2. I've been wanting Mallrats 2 for a long time, and they were going to make it a TV show called Mallbrats, which I was like,
yeah.
no, I don't want that, because it would have ended up on the CW, and I would have cried. But now they're doing this one, and although Jason Lee looked pretty old as his character in Jason Silent Bob Reboot, but that scene was hilarious nonetheless. They did pretty much the same scene with the new comic book shop, where he's telling them about the reboot and all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot of self-deprecating humor because Kevin Smith is actually directing the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, the Blunt Man Chronic reboot, I should say.
Oh, so it's all meta.
Yeah, it's very meta, especially since his daughter plays a character and says how much she hates Kevin Smith because he always puts his daughter in his movies. It's just weird.
Oh, okay.
And anyway,
I need to watch this.
off that sidetrack. Finish up this episode. So Barry gets everybody back. They arrive at the dawn of time. Only to find out the Animator will always learn of the multiverse existence no matter what, because that's one thing that Lex was trying to prevent him from doing. He kind of not to skip over the fact that Lex killed Superman 96 to be there. Essentially, he wrote himself as that Paragon by using a page of the Book of Destiny. So Kara is still real peeved off at Lex for that. So she's trying to stay very close to him, and Ryan Chow is there as well.
And Lex has powers.
Yeah, Lex has
powers.
cosmic blasts that come out of his fists. But at the end of it all, the Paragons battle the Antimatter and all his shadow demons until Oliver uses the Spectre's powers to restore the multiverse, making a true Arrowverse.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it now. It is the Arrowverse, like, legitimately now. They used the Book of Destiny page and became essentially parts of their Paragon selves. Hope, love, whatever the crap they were. But as a result of using all those powers, Oliver dies a second time. This time with Sarah and Barry there with him. Super friggin' sad. I'm actually very happy that they chose it to be Barry and her. It made the most sense out of all that were there.
Yeah.
I would have been real upset if they just because chose Kara and Barry, just because they're the leads of their shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah is too, but you know what I'm saying. Like, she's Supergirl and he's Flash. They're bigger heroes in the universe. The fact that they chose Sarah was key, because really after this point, Sarah is like the main character in the rest of the Crisis.
Yeah, she took charge.
Yeah, she's like the main go-to person for the rest of this episode, and seemingly it looks like to be the leader of the Arrowverse for a while. She's the one kind of in charge of everything. Granted, she's a captain, so she knows what she's doing, but it just seemed like she was kind of taking over. So then we jump to Legends after that, the Legends episode. We're in a newly created universe. The Paragons discover that they're the only ones who remember Crisis and pre-Crisis. And that Earth 38 and we don't know what number his was, but Black Lightning's Earth have been merged with Earth 1, resulting in a composite universe designated Earth Prime.
Woo!
Which you don't find that out till the end of the episode, but yes, Earth Prime. Jean Jones uses his powers to kind of bring everybody up to speed, goes to the travels, finds everybody, tells them what they just went through, what the Crisis was. And And then the Shadow Demons return.
But not before a giant, fluffy Bebo. Again.
Which was just a distraction.
It was a distraction, but it was nice to see Bebo.
It was not nice to see
It was
Bebo.
nice to see Bebo because
there's one reason why it was cool, and that was because of Ray's selfie with Bebo is a thing that exists.
It is awesome.
There's a thing that exists on Instagram of the actual selfie with Bebo in the background.
Do I have it? Did I save it?
Let me find it. I'll put it up on the screen.
I did save it.
I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah,
okay.
Well, that's not going to be as good.
Nope. But yeah. It's great.
Bebo, B-O-B-O? B-E? B-E-B-O.
Yeah. It's great.
Let me find it here and we'll show the world. This is on Melissa Benoist's.
Yeah, that was so whited out.
There it is, right in the middle of the screen. Barry's face is the best. And Brandon Rouse smiled, and Melissa is just like, "What's happening? Like, what are we doing?"
It's gonna suck when he leaves. Why are
him and his wife?
Yeah, they're so good. It's just gonna suck. It's gonna suck that he leaves, but I'm sure whoever or if they bring in anyone else, I'm sure they'll do a decent job filling those shoes, filling that void.
Yeah.
But it's just
hopefully it's Chow.
Yeah, nothing has been confirmed that he is coming.
I mean, I'm hoping it's Chow. Let me just put it that way.
It makes sense.
I like that character, so go ahead, keep talking. What else? So after that, the Shadow Demons.
So after that, which part? Bebo, another, and then a DC sorcerer who has ties. Who has ties in the DC universe? Was the cause of the distraction, and then Supergirl was really excited when she saw Kate.
Yeah, that was fun.
Of course,
that was fun.
It was fun, but I'm like, yeah, of course she's going to be here. But yes, I mean, how close are these cities to each other?
I don't know.
Because Gotham and Star City I don't think are close to each other. Central and Star City are not close to each other, but yeah, it's just weird. It's just like, because later on you get Nash Wells going from Central to Star City, and it's like, oh yeah, it was just like a easy trip.
I'm just gonna leave this picture up for a while.
Oh, thanks.
It's in between us, so neither of us are covered. You'll see it on yours. You'll see it in a second.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because it's fun. And as much as I hate Bebo, it's Barry, Melissa, and Brandon's reaction that are the Grant, Melissa, and Brandon's reaction that make that fantastic, and the fact that they actually took the picture.
They took the picture and then they
popped in
added
Bebo,
it. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Bebo hates everything.
Bebo loves everything. Bebo is the war god.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like the longest running joke on
I'm gonna let you
two
talk.
seasons.
I'm gonna let you talk most about this mostly because I don't know if there's any hidden Legends jokes in here because I hadn't watched last season of Legends yet.
It's playing very loose with like it being meta on itself.
Yeah.
Talking about like the crossover, like, oh, we missed another crossover again.
That was funny. Yeah.
It's funny because
now they need our help. Yeah.
Because last season of Legends, they had to create a theme park for all the mythical creatures. Long story.
Good Lord.
And they're like, yeah.
It's only like 16 episodes, right? It's gonna take me forever to get through.
Oh yeah, 16. Yeah,
I have till Tuesday to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I should be watching. Why am I watching Clone Wars? I should be watching that. I've got till February till the new Clone Wars comes out. I just need more Ahsoka Tano in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're pretty like breaking the fourth wall on knowing that these crossovers happen.
They do that often. They're one of the shows that I think that does that a lot.
This is the first time that it's been like not announced, but like really prominent saying crossover.
I don't like that they say the word crossover on the show. That's weird.
It is weird.
They would not call it that. Like
it's a
team up. Yeah. the word crossover doesn't seem like a logistical word for or a sensical word leap for them to make just in general.
No, but I mean, if you want to think of it like that, it is a crossover with all of these people in their worlds. It's like, oh yeah, hey guys, let's cross over with each other.
The crossover makes sense. It makes sense when you're talking about Earth 38 and Black Lightning, because they're literally crossing over to another world. When that's crossing over between Legends, Flash, and Arrow, and Batwoman, that's not a crossover. That's a road trip.
Yeah.
So
the hop, skip, and a jump, apparently.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Nash is back to being Nash. He's not what's his name anymore?
He's not Pariah.
He's not the Pariah. He's remorseful though, for what he had contributed because he let loose, I guess, the Monitor and Anti-Monitor. And
he's the last Wells.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I'm going to say that right out the gate. I haven't been too attached to Nash. But now I understand why he's like a Indiana Jones character, because they need somebody to be a little more actiony and smart if that's going to be the final one that they get. He needs to be able to kind of be multifaceted, I think. So to stop the Anti-Monitor from destroying the multiverse all over again, the team has to get together and create a bomb capable of shrinking the Anti-Monitor for eternity. What a weird plot device. I'm just going to say it.
Hey, it's better than going up the butt of the Anti-Monitor and then growing big again.
Yeah, true. Wait, I don't know if I'm not. Whatever. So what does Ray call the microverse?
You know what? On my recording, and I think that's something to do with my soundbar too. It every time he says it, it bleeps itself out.
Oh.
So I never know what he says. I think he kind of calls it the Atomverse.
I think that's what it was. I can't remember now.
But Ryan calls it the Microverse, and
he's like, "That's way better."
That's way better.
Yeah.
Some copyright issues. But,
yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. Once the bomb's finished, Kara uses it on the Anti-Monitor. Kara uses it. I keep saying Kara. Uses it on the Anti-Monitor and sends them to the Microverse, where they have tiny microwaves.
Yeah. And then all of the shadow demons go away.
Yeah, all is good on Earth.
Until Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, we didn't get a tease. We didn't get that tease.
No, I think
they're just ready to finish their seasons and take a break.
Yeah. Well, this was a little bit jumping towards the end. This was a little bit Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis together, at least at the end.
A little, yeah, right. Speaking of the end, we get they're back at this empty warehouse that they've teased before. This time, Barry has kind of outfitted it with a table and chairs with gaming chairs
with a lot of gaming chairs,
which is what the DEO uses. They use gaming chairs. That's what Brainy sits in all the time. That's what what's his name, Wynn, used to sit in too. Mm-hmm. Who's coming back, right?
Yeah, he's coming back very soon.
Which the trailer for the upcoming season showed Toyman stuff, so I'm like, oh, all right.
So he'll be back in that episode.
Yeah,
and then
I thought he was returning as a regular.
No, just guest star.
Lame.
Yeah. But Brainy's, I can't remember his actual name. His actor name.
Jesse Rath.
Jesse Rath. His sister is coming on to play a female version.
That I knew. Yeah.
Yep, and that's in the next episode.
Okay.
Which is entitled Bottle Episode.
I saw that. It's called. I thought it was just called Bottle. It's called Bottle Episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll preview the upcoming seasons in a second here. But so finishing out the episode, they get the table, the chairs. It's basically their super friends hangout, the Hall of Justice, as it were. That's the building that they're in. They hold a little memorial service for Oliver with a flame and his costume there in the Hall of Justice. There's boxes and stuff everywhere. Jefferson asks, is it really necessary to have this place? Because, I mean, how often do we have to save the world? And they all just look at him and he's like, oh, it's like that. which endeared Jefferson to me. I have not seen one episode of Black Lightning, but I thought, okay, that's cool. That's funny. I like that.
See, I'm gonna be very interested to see how Black Lightning is now because now it's all one universe.
One Earth, yeah.
Yeah. And I've also been thinking, like, oh, great. Superman could just show up whenever. It won't happen, but it's a possibility.
Well, now you run into the problems of what kind of issues is, like, Batwoman going to have where she's really struggling, where she can't just whistle for her friend, Supergirl, to fly over in a heartbeat to help her, you know? These are the things that came up after Avengers, like, well, while Iron Man's going through all this, where's Thor? You know, like all these things, you know, which I always made excuses for and said, who cares? It's like the comics. They're in their own comic book, you know. We're all busy doing other things when they're in their individual books. But anyway, so yeah, we have all the heroes are together. Then we hear some strange animal noises. And then a very familiar to old people music starts to play. That is the theme music or the underlying score for the Super Friends. And then you see a empty chimpanzee cage with banana peels everywhere. And the name?
Gleek!
Right. Those who don't know, for those who have no idea what's happening here, I'm hoping that's just a funny little nod to the character Gleek, a monkey who worked with the Wonder Twins on Super Friends. Now, a Wonder Twins show has been teased for a while in the past. I think at the beginning of Arrow, they were teasing something like that. I hope this does not mean any of that's coming, but if I remember right, I did see an article recently in which I think Guggenheim talked about it. I'll give credit. This article is from Screen Rant. I don't like giving... Oh, but it's written by my friend Andy, so never mind. So let me find a quote here. From Variety, Mark Guggenheim, the Googs, shared how Gleek made it into the crossover and whether Zan or Jaina were going to be involved. Those are the Wonder Twins. TBD, that was something where we knew we wanted to end with that fun bit. There were early versions of the draft that had the Wonder Twins actually in it. I consider the Wonder Twins kind of a jump ball. We'll see what show wants to grab it. So now it's kind of left into the showrunner's hands if they want to grab them. Now, they were once in Smallville, played by David Gallagher and Alison Scagliotti in season 9, which is the second to last season. The penultimate season, right? They had 10 seasons?
Yeah, that was where he was. Yeah, that was his all black season.
Yeah, and Gleek wasn't involved.
No.
But DC, especially Flash, is no stranger to animals. So we've had Gorilla Grodd and King Shark. So
yeah, so I watched these last two with my girlfriend, and I got excited when I saw Gleek, and she's like, "What?" So, and I'm like, "Have you ever heard of the Super Friends?" She goes, "No." "Have you ever heard of the Wonder Twins?" "No." I'm just shaking my head because I thought this was a well-known factor.
It's not. Not many people know. I mean.
So I showed her, like, there was like a mini episode on there, and I just showed her. I'm like, yeah, these are not the greatest heroes because one just turns into water and one turns into an animal.
Right.
It's not that great.
Then real fast, before that moment, they kind of showed the multiverse being revealed again. It's confusing. So in the trailers that they released after the episodes aired, they showed trailers for all the shows, just like a 40-second trailer for each show. And I believe in the Flash one, somebody says the multiverse is destroyed.
Yeah, I think it was Cisco.
Yeah, I think Cisco says it, but that could be Cisco saying, I'm not using my power. He was originally got rid of his powers. The monitor gave them back to him. But now that everything's recreated, did Oliver give him his powers back?
Yeah, we don't. I guess we'll know on Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, we won't know till February.
There's a point in there where there's like a talk about using your powers, something like that. What makes me think he still has them. But I have the feeling he's not going to be able to breach into other Earths anymore. That was kind of, I felt like a safety valve for them to do these things. But now that we have Earth Prime, I feel like they're going to cut that off so that Titans, Doom Patrol, all of these shows can exist separate.
Yeah.
And we don't have to keep asking the question, well, when are the Titans going to show up now that we're all on the same Earth? Because
They're not.
They're not. We got a glimpse of all these Earths at the end, much like we did at the beginning of the crossovers. We got all these different Earths shown to us. I was looking for a list of them because I didn't write them down. You didn't happen to write them down, did you?
It was Earth 2 with Stargirl and the JSA.
So that's in the past. Because the Stargirl show takes place in the past.
No.
Yes, the Stargirl show does not take place in present time.
I thought it does.
No.
No.
I'll look it up, but keep going.
So, and then Earth 12, yes, we got a Green Lantern nod. I just wish it was on Earth Prime.
Set it up how they showed it, though.
It's movie footage from the Green Lantern movie.
No, you dummy. So they built it up, and they showed a green object flying from Earth, and then landed on Oa with a bunch of glowing
the Guardians.
Green. Yeah, that was cool, man.
It was cool to see it. I just wish it was on.
Oh, there's no making you
Earth
happy.
Prime. Says the guy wearing a Green Lantern hoodie.
There's no making you happy. It was something, man. It was something.
I know it was something. It's because the Green Lantern Corps is going to the HBO Max streaming service. And then we get Earth 9, which is Titans.
Titans, yep.
Earth
they showed everybody, right?
They showed everyone but Robin and Wonder Girl and Superboy.
Robin was there.
No, he wasn't.
He was on his motorcycle.
Sorry.
You mean Nightwing?
Dick Grayson.
Okay.
Nightwing.
Okay.
Sorry. That Robin. And then we get Earth 19, which was Swamp Thing.
Which was very sad the way they said it too. Earth will rise and fall.
Rise and fall.
that was awful.
And then Earth 21, which is Doom Patrol.
That was cool. They're all dancing on the lawn.
Which I think came from
an episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the finale.
I haven't watched the finale yet, so.
Oh well,
it looks familiar, but yeah. I expected that.
And then Earth 96 was Donnerverse, Kingdom Come,
which
Superman.
was great because they shot for shot did the exact same footage of Christopher Reeves flying in the sky and smiling as he flew past the camera. And
he had the yellow shield and not the black one.
Right.
So there was hope again.
Yeah, hope returns.
Yep. And then we showed Earth Prime.
I meant to look it up before we talked because this posits the fact that Titans and Doom Patrol are not on the same Earth.
Mm-hmm. Which is still weird, but
right.
Whatever.
If I remember correctly, so they did the episode of Titans in season 1 that introduced the Doom Patrol with a different character playing Chief.
Yes.
Different actor, I should say, playing Chief. Timothy Dalton would replace him later. But I think once they got the series started, they had mentioned in an interview or something that it was a separate Earth from the Titans. I can't, I'd have to look. I wish I'd been more proactive here and researched it before.
Because I guess a little backstory in the scrapped season 1 finale of Titans, the Doom Patrol was supposed to show up and help.
Right. Yeah. I how did I know? You everywhere on Twitter, this guy is always about this. What could have been?
Because it would have been a better season finale.
I didn't mind it. I didn't. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but whatever. We got what we got. Let's stop asking for things that we're demanding things. That it all can't be Sonic.
No. You happy, people? Are you happy?
Yeah, you got one thing now. Shut up. All right, let's wrap things up. We're going an hour, and there's only been 2 episodes.
But there's
a lot to go through. Yeah,
there was a lot.
A lot of cool stuff. A lot of very fan servicey stuff, which this whole crossover was very fan servicey, but it worked. It was fun. It was for the first time in maybe 20 years. I had to tell somebody, I'll come downstairs in a minute. I need to wait for the commercial because I was watching it live. Like I haven't done that since I was in high school, I think. Before DVRs and all this stuff. Like, I can't miss this. Shut up. I gotta wait. I'll come down in a second. But yeah, so like, it was a lot of fun, this crossover. The year build up to it. Arrow's season essentially being all about it was fantastic. The lameness of Supergirl and Flash the first half of the season, I'll give it credit now because they were doing this. They were getting ready for this. They didn't have time to focus on that crap. But now they're going back. Supergirl is going to be focusing on Lex Luthor pretty heavily because he's in charge of the DEO now.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly how many episodes he's in for
Right,
Supergirl.
right.
Because with last year, he was only on 3.
And he died.
So, and he died,
He
and now he's
died.
back.
And now this Lex Luthor is part of all of our characters' world.
Yep, and so is Superman, and
so
Krypton, and Argo. So we get all that back.
And the Bottle City of Kandor.
Heck, not yet. It hasn't been talked about yet.
I think it's in the fortress. I could be wrong, though. I thought it was in the fortress, but I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. I just say things to say them. This isn't a reporting show. This is an editorial show. So, yes, and then we've got the beginning of Legends coming very soon. The backdoor pilots of Green Arrow and the Black Canaries, right? It's Green Arrow?
It's Green Arrow and the Canaries. And from the preview, they don't in the last 2 episodes of Crisis, they do not make mention of the future kids or whatever.
No,
they're just gone.
It kind of looks like present time. That's another thing we need to talk about. So changes were made. Arrow, Oliver, reset Diggle's family to a daughter. So
Sarah's back.
He corrected Barry's mistake and brought back Sarah. Am I to assume that other kid is Bronze Tiger's kid?
No, that is JJ.
So that's JJ.
So
they now have 2 kids.
They have 2 kids, yes.
And she didn't have to go through pregnancy or anything.
Nope. Twice.
Way to go, Lila.
It'd still be, whatever, time travel.
They'd be the same age, but Oliver could have done it whatever he wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he made this world in his own image, essentially. Oh, good lord. Okay, so yes, we have the backdoor pilot episode, which looks like it could still be in present time, but the episode's called Green Arrow and the Canaries, aka Living in the Future.
Yep, which is a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, nobody cares. I'm just kidding. So while it's supposed to be, you would assume, set in the future, it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it, and it doesn't look like Mia remembers anything that happened. Until Laurel touches her with a ring.
Yeah. So they're not there when the universe comes back. So then Oliver would have sent them back to the future.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta go back, Marty.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back.
Also good. So Jean would not have filled her in psychically about what happened, so she wouldn't know. So that way, yes, when she first meets, I guess, Laurel, that would be the time that she has to let her know. So we'll see. That's January 21st. So that's this week.
Yep.
And then a week later is the finale, which, spoiler alert, Oliver's dead. So
Oliver's dead. Emily Bett Richards. Felicity comes back.
I was gonna correct you, but I was swallowing. But yeah, just say what you want to say. It's Ricard.
But yeah, she comes back for the finale, and I don't think anyone else special is.
It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I'm sure. I'm hoping it's not a clip show. Like,
oh, good lord,
where he goes
just going through memories.
Yeah. I don't want that out of a finale.
It's directed by James Banford, who was their stunt guy, and written by Mark Guggenheim and Beth Schwartz, the showrunners, executive producer and showrunner this past year. So we'll see. That's 2 weeks away. So next week we'll be back on Friday to talk about this week's episodes, which include Legends and Arrow. As Batwoman and I keep almost saying Batgirl. Is Batwoman and Supergirl back this week?
I think so.
It's an easy check.
And I think Black Lightning too.
Yeah, I should probably talk about that show. What a racist I am.
Because they made mention, or one of her friends, like, "Are you sure you visited a parallel world?" And his daughter and Jefferson are like, "Yes." So his daughter remembers Crisis.
Okay, interesting.
Which is interesting, yeah.
Yeah, Flash returns on Feb 4.
Mm-hmm.
Batwoman returns on the 19th, so that's Sunday. Supergirl Kara returns on the same day. The bottle episode, Back from the Future Part 1, is the episode after that, so I'm assuming that is the return of Winn.
That's the Winn episode.
Directed by David Harewood.
Yep.
And then Arrow, of course, returns this week. So next week we'll be talking about all of our shows, minus Flash. So we'll be busy. Hopefully keep it to about 40 minutes. But yeah, it was a return episode. We kind of sidetracked a little bit, but it was fun. Overall, all 5 episodes. How do you feel about the crossover this year?
I think they did their own version and they did it well.
Exceeded expectations.
Mhm.
Could I have
There was a
done?
lot.
Yeah. They threw a lot at us. I was half expecting a cartoon version to pop in somewhere, like Justice League, or Justice League, Unlimited or whatever. That didn't happen, but that's okay. That's fine too. They did a Super Friends nod, I guess. That's enough. So yeah, this was, I think, the best crossover yet. Plus, it was all shows getting a crossover, not just 3 or 4 of them. And it spanned every universe that I've loved. And they made some things better. They gave a conclusion to the 90s series of Flash, which was great. They kind of wrapped that up with some footage there, too. That was cool. Even the Birds of Prey got some action. While that show was not great, it existed. So, and it's in Gotham, and there's a Barbara Gordon character, so I'm all about it. It was a lot of fun. It was good to see Brandon Routh in a version of Superman that actually worked. Because Superman Returns is... Sorry.
Not his fault.
It's an awful movie. It is not his fault, no. They made him emo stalker Superman, and it was weird. And while at that time I enjoyed Kevin Spacey's work, I did not like him as Lex Luthor. I no longer like Kevin Spacey, but that's for much different reasons.
I like his Lex Luthor, actually.
Okay, fair enough. I preferred, was it Parker Posey?
Yeah.
Wasn't she in that?
I think so, as Miss Tessmacher.
Was it Parker Posey? I get her confused with someone else all the time. No, it was Parker Posey. Yep. And then Cyclops was in it.
Yep, because Bryan Singer directed it.
Yeah, right. And Sam Huntington, who I liked a lot, also played Jimmy Olsen. He was in Not Another Teen Movie. Being Human, the American version. He was the werewolf in Being Human.
Oh, I'll look it up later.
If you saw a picture of him, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I've seen Not Another Teen Movie.
He was on Veronica Mars for a few episodes. Fanboys, did you see that movie? A Star Wars movie
about... that's a while ago.
Yeah, with Veronica Mars is in that.
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, he's the kid that's actually dying of cancer. Or no, he's the best friend of him, the artist.
I'll look it up.
He was their friend, and he kind of went into just working full time. So he's a cool guy. He's in a lot of Rob Thomas's stuff like iZombie and Veronica Mars and stuff like that. So anyway, way off track here. Superman Returns, garbage. But so very happy Brandon Routh got to return to the cape and the tights and the red underwear, and got to play a cool version with our current Superman, who is going to get his own show next year.
Yep.
Along with Stargirl, starts up this spring. Stargirl does.
Starts up this spring, premiering on the DC Universe app, then going to CW with commercials.
Weird.
And then going for free on CW app.
So weird. But we'll include that.
Cross promotion.
Yeah. That'll be part of our Arrowverse Weekly. Titans, unfortunately, won't, but maybe once it comes back, we'll talk a little bit about it next fall. Doom Patrol obviously won't, but it was cool that we got to talk about him here because of the nod there. And then, of course, HBO Max's Green Lantern won't be on this show. But we're going to have to find a reason to talk about it because I can't wait. Also, news came out, if you're a DC fan, Watchmen will not get a season 2 on HBO. And from what I hear, fans of the show are okay with it. There's not a lot of outrage.
Yeah, no, it was perfect the way it was.
And it's good. I think HBO made the right choice. Don't continue it without the series runner, because that guy left, or woman, I don't know who was running the show.
Wasn't
it Carlton Cuse?
Damien, it was Damien Lindelof.
Yeah. Why did he leave? Did they say? Did he get a Star Wars movie or something?
No, he told the story that he wanted to.
Oh, okay. So he just was wanted to be one and done.
Yeah.
I respect that. So yeah, HBO made a good choice, I think, and so there won't be a season 2 as of right now of Watchmen. So
yeah,
I still didn't finish it.
He did say that if he gave full control to HBO, he's like, if there's a story you guys want to do it.
Yeah.
So, but if HBO's saying no, then leave it as it is.
Respect it. Stop writing your petitions. Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of how I wished Fargo, the first season of Fargo, was like.
Oh boy.
Because I enjoyed the first season of Fargo, and then I just didn't watch any others. But kind of like that. I wish the FX network would have just done a one and done.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. We are part of the Atomic Geekdom family. network podcasts this week. We're recording our episode reviewing season 1 of The Mandalorian, in which we're going to talk about Easter eggs and stuff that you might have missed in there. We're going to talk about all the episodes. We're going to review it. We're going to do a lot of talking about Baby Yoda, I'm sure. And we're going to talk about season 2 rumors and stuff. No spoilers. We don't know what's going on for season 2. But rumors have come up, including one, Ahsoka Tano, being mentioned as a potential character. Also, Darth Maul has been mentioned. So tune into that podcast, wherever you can find your podcasts. Tom Geekdom is there. Kyle, I will let you promote it since it's coming back. What else do you do?
I co-host a podcast called Legends TV Talk, where we weekly talk about Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, it's not about how I'm a legend.
You're not Michael Jordan.
True.
Who's getting a 10-inch pop, by the way.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully this weekend, where we're going to recap basically what we just did here, but with 2 of my co-hosts, and get hyped for season 1 or season 5.
Probably a heavier focus on the Legends crew.
Yes, the 2 that were there.
There was a cameo by the other ones.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, we will be back next Friday. I might just leave the green screen off. I think this looked just fine. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching if you watch live. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. It's somewhere on the screen below. I don't know where. If you're watching on Twitch later, like the page, follow the page, and you'll get notified all the time when we go live so you can be part of the conversation. Appreciate you joining us and hanging out today. Again, we do this every Friday, sometimes on Saturdays if schedules don't allow. But yeah, we wrap up the whole week in the Arrowverse. So we'll be back next week. Thank you, Kyle.
Hey, you're welcome.
And yeah, that is all. Goodbye.
Peace.